Hey everyone, welcome to another episode number 9 of Touch Taste Thursday. Welcome. This is exciting. I am excited for you guys to join me tonight. I have a great guest tonight. You guys here in the Baton Rouge area know him as Pastor Mike or Mike the Money Coach, or you may know him as the Christian rapper. But he's listen. You guys are going to be inspired. I really believe you guys are going to be inspired. And so I am excited to have him on. But before we jump into that, we need to do a couple church announcements. So do not forget to go and vote if you have not early voted this Tuesday, November 8th, which is election day across the U.S. Make sure you've done your research. Make sure you have looked at the records, the voting records of the people that you have on your ballots to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for because I don't know everyone that's out there that's running, but I will encourage you, I implore you to go out and vote. It's free. I mean, if you don't know where to vote, go to Go Vote. I think it's GEAUX. If you're here in Louisiana, govote.org.com.la.gov. Either way you go, you can find out where to go and vote, okay? Also, make sure you do not forget to reach out to those that have served for us. It is Veterans Day coming up next week, and so we want to make sure that we say thank you to the veterans that have served on our behalf to give us the freedoms and liberties that we have here in the United States. All right, and last but not least, we got our Jean Ellen collection lipsticks. Yes. So if you have not gone to shopjeanellencollection.com to get your signature Jean Ellen red lip color, it's plenty available. So with that being said, we are going to jump right on in and get to our conversation tonight with Pastor Mike. All right, so I'm going to send him an invite. Make sure you guys are sharing this live, that you are sending it out to your friends, your family, your cousins, whoever can be impacted by this gentleman's story. I think I'm just glad tomorrow's Friday. That's all I got. Good afternoon. How are you?
I am amazing. Hold on, I thought I had this thing adjusted well. I'm amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad it's Thursday.
I'm excited it's Thursday as well. Very much so.
Yes. Well, welcome to Touch Taste Thursday. It is such a pleasure to have you join the Jean Ellen experience tonight.
Look, if you go look in my Insta story, let me apologize up front because I pronounced the name of this page so wrong. Oh my goodness. I said Janelle instead of Jean Elliott. So Jean Ellen, I'm sorry. So forgive me, Rebecca. I apologize. Forgive me for that. But
No
I am
worries.
excited. I am really excited about being on tonight. I'm ready to have fun.
Yes, well, good. Don't listen. No worries, because people still think my name is Jean, and I'm like, who names their kid Jean anymore? All right. So let's go ahead and let's get right on in. I am excited about tonight. Just doing a little research and just learning more about you. Let's talk about who is Mike Carter.
Oh man, I'm a dad, a husband, a man of God first and foremost, a person who loves people, passionate about people, period. Passionate about the Word of God, passionate about teaching people about money, passionate about content creation. I'm just a passionate person. That's just that's where I have to put it, you know.
Got you. So let's talk a little bit about the Kingdom Billionaires Club. Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the money.
Let's talk about the guap. Let's talk about that mucho dinero.
Yes. Why is it hard for the people of God to talk about money?
I think it's a lot easier now because there's just been too much revelation that's come forth for people to continue to hold on to that. We ain't supposed to have no money in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like that one been gone. That's been out of the window. But originally, I think it was hard because number one, we have an adversary who don't want us to
Right.
learn nothing, and number two, people, scripture being twisted, even from the pulpit. People
Mm-hmm.
saying that Jesus was poor and all these different types of things, and so it makes us feel like if he was poor, then we should be poor if we're gonna follow his example. Which is why teaching the Bible erroneously is dangerous.
Yes.
Because how could a man who had a treasurer, a man who could put money in a fish's mouth, a man who could take 2 fish and 5 loaves and feed 5,000 people, how could a man who got gold, frankincense, and myrrh brought to his baby shower be poor? You feel what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it's a little bit of all of that.
Mm-hmm. And so, what does the Kingdom Billionaires Club? What is that all about? What does that entail, and how do I join?
Okay, the Kingdom Billionaires Club is literally a community of like-minded believers who believe in the spiritual aspect of money. The
Okay.
Bible talks about it in the book of Habakkuk how you can bring your money home and put it in a bag with holes in it. And I believe that the reason why people put their money in a bag with holes in it because they haven't dealt with the spiritual side in order to secure the bag. That's how you
Yeah.
really need to secure the bag. So
Right.
we deal with the biblical aspects of finances, and then we deal with the practical side. But we focus mainly on the spiritual side because everybody goes everywhere and get the practical side. You can go
Mm-hmm.
right around the corner and learn about budgeting. You can go right around the corner and learn about investing. You can go right around the corner and learn those things. But it's very few people who are teaching people the spiritual foundation of your finances, which is your thought process and your belief system. And so that's what we focus on in the Kingdom Billionaires Club. And I want to build a community of people who, because I know it's not for everybody. So I
Right.
wanted to build a community of like-minded people where we can come together, share ideas, that type of thing. And if you want to become a member, you can. We actually just opened enrollment on the 1st. You can go to the website, www.kingdombillionairesclub.com, and become a member. It's a $297 annual fee. That's about $25 a month to become a member. And the value you receive is way beyond that money. So, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about this Powerball jackpot or whatever. So the $1.5 billion.
I
So
just had
with
it today.
having, if getting the $1.5 billion, and I've never had money on that. I don't know anyone that's had money on that scale. How would you help guide
Right.
someone to be financially responsible as well as spiritually responsible with that money? Because the
Yeah.
Saints feel some kind of way about playing the lotto, but they playing.
Yeah, they play it absolutely, and I think even that's a misconception. Of course, anything done in excess leads to perversion. So we don't want to get hooked on gambling and all that type of thing. But I ain't nothing wrong
Mm-hmm.
with buying a lottery ticket every now and then. Shoot, 1.5 billion, I might go get me one. But honestly, what I would literally, I've never handled 1.5 billion dollars, so I can only go off of what I do know about where I am right now. And I would tell people to make sure, first and foremost, that you get with somebody who can help you handle that type of money. Because there's
Right.
nothing wrong with seeking help. There are people who are skilled in advising you what to do with your finances. So with that kind of money, you definitely need somebody who's skilled in that area to handle and to help you manage that. Because if you do it, if you never had 1.5 billion and you get 1.5 billion,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what to do with 1.5 billion. So
Correct.
you need to get with some people who do. And there's no shame in that. Because if not, I think on average, 80% of people who win the lottery, no matter how much they win, end up broke within 2 to 5 years.
Wow.
That's because you can get all the money you want, but if you still got a broke mentality, you're going to come right back to broke. So you would
Right.
definitely need to get with somebody who knows how to handle that kind of money. What I would do personally, first thing I'm going to do is give. I'm gonna give off the top. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna start buying what everybody calls income producing assets.
Yes.
You gotta start buying things that are going to create money and put money back in your pocket. I'm not gonna go buy a new house first. I'm not gonna go buy a car first. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna buy something that can pay for the new house. I'm gonna
Right.
buy something that can pay for the new car, and then we'll go from there.
Because I think that's the thought that a lot of people have. Oh, I'm gonna buy a new house. I'm gonna buy a new car. I'm gonna take a month-long vacation. I'm gonna do all of these things that you're kicking the
Right.
money out. It's not really returning back to
Right.
you. So
Absolutely.
I can understand your point of view of getting something that's going to replenish that money.
Yes, yes. Because I mean, I studied millionaires and billionaires all the time. That's what they do.
Right.
You consistently hear that before they go and just buy a liability, they go buy an asset that'll pay for the liability. So they don't have a problem with buying liabilities. They
Right.
just buy something that can generate the income to pay for it. That
Hmm.
way, the money that they already had, they're not giving none of that out to go and buy that new liability. They're getting some extra money in to pay for it.
So, what are your thoughts on like cryptocurrency?
I'm never, to be honest with you, I've never really gotten into cryptocurrency. It just doesn't feel like something that
Hmm.
I'll be interested in. So I just really never mess with it. I know a lot of people who do, and I know a lot of people that swear by it. I myself have never gotten into cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
I'm more of a mutual fund, exchange trade fund, index fund type of guy. I've
Gotcha.
never touched on cryptocurrency.
Hmm. I think, with us watching how cryptocurrency has changed so much in the last year or two, it's
Hmm.
dipped a lot. So now you have a lot of experts that are saying now is the time to buy in. If you wanted to get Bitcoin, now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
As a financial expert, do you see that now would be the time if you wanted to get into something like that? Now would be the time to jump in, or just stay away completely?
I mean, it's like with any investment. It's like with stocks. With now, and because we're in a recession, you listen to financial experts say it like this: if let's say right now, what's your favorite store? What store you like to shop at?
Oh, anything with food?
Okay, okay. Let's
Grocery
say,
store.
clothing store. Give me a clothing store.
And Taylor.
Okay, let's say Ann Taylor right now put their entire store on sale 50% off. You gonna jump in your car so fast
In
and you
there.
gonna run to Ann Taylor, right?
In
Well,
there.
it's just in there. We in there, right? Well, it's the same thing with the stock market. Whenever there's a recession or whenever there's like we had the pandemic in 2020, right? Whenever
Yes.
stuff like that happens, these stocks go on sale. These companies
Right.
literally go on sale. Right now, you could probably get an Amazon stock for less than $100. So that's the time to buy. And
Yes.
cryptocurrency, I would guess, because it's an investment, it's the same thing. Whenever the
Hmm.
prices dip, most people get afraid and they're like, oh, when the market crashes, oh, I don't want to touch it. But
They
that's when the millionaires and the billionaires make all their money.
they
A
swiping.
couple in 2020, Zoom, Zoom is Zoom became a real big thing in 2020 because nobody could go
Right.
anywhere, right?
Correct.
Well, right before the pandemic, Zoom stock was about, I think it was like 70 something dollars per share. During the pandemic, it skyrocketed. It peaked at about $438. Now, if you were smart enough and had enough foresight to have bought it when it was $70, well, during the pandemic, it got up to 438. Imagine the kind of money you made. So it is
Right.
wise to buy when the stuff is low, and then when it comes back up, you done made a killing. Now,
Hmm.
what you got to do, you got to decide: am I going to play the long game and just go through all the peaks and valleys, or am I when it peaks up, am I going to sell it and get my money out of it?
Right.
That's pretty much what it's all about.
The recession, you mentioned that. The recession, it's it's kind of been a little crazy because you have some people that are like, okay, during the pandemic, we had a lot of breaks, meaning like, gas was a little less. We had a lot of not refund check, but yeah, like stimulus checks, and you just had
Right.
a lot of external people helping out, with income and not, really charging as much. And so now on this side of it, everything has gone up
Yeah.
tremendously. Like yesterday, I
Yeah.
went to Waffle House and I spent $28, and I'm trying to figure out how I spent $28 at the Waffle House.
That's an
I have no
expensive
idea.
waffle, baby.
Right. So with the recession, how do you think people should do as far as saving, just in case it's a longer game than before? Because this is not the first recession. It's we've been through this
Mhm.
before. So how do we play the long game with saving and being responsible with the money that we do have?
Absolutely. I think saving is important if you're saving for a reason. I tell people you should never save just to save. Of course, you need to have a fund that, in case something were to happen, I don't like to say emergency because we don't
Right.
want to plan our life based on emergencies. But you definitely need to have money set on the side in case something hits you that you weren't expecting. But you should always, during economic downtime, to me, you should get on the offensive. because there's so much money to be made. Now, we don't want to spend money on stuff that's going to take money out of our pockets, like we just talked about earlier. We need to be spending money. And this is not just during a recession. This is period. This is how you build wealth. This is how you steward and manage what God gives you wisely. If you think about the parable of the talents, the two guys who the man considered good and faithful stewards, both of them took what he gave them and made more with it.
Right.
So that's what God expects us to do with our money. So even in a recession, even in a downturn, while we're saving and we're making sure we got all our ends met and all our expenses covered, we still need to be on the offensive. We still need to be looking for opportunities to invest in something that can put money in our pocket, opportunities to buy assets. Because to be honest with you, during those times is when you get everything that makes you money cheap. Because everything goes on sale.
Right.
Literally everything goes on sale. So you should be looking, the mind frame should be, okay, what can I buy now to help me increase my wealth? What can I buy now to help me increase money? While I'm saving, what can I invest in to help me increase my money while everything is on sale?
Okay.
And when I say everything's on sale, I'm not talking about goods, because that stuff doesn't make you money. I'm talking about the stuff that makes you money. I'm talking about stocks. I'm talking about investment properties. I'm talking about all types of things like that that's going to put money back in your pocket. That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Because I was going to say, okay, so you talk about things on sale. Let's talk about the Yeezys. Would you buy those? And now that they're on sale, I don't know if you own any, but would you buy them?
Let me tell you something. Them shoes are not going to be on sale. Adidas is still going to charge the same price, and people are still going to buy. I only have one pair of Yeezys right now. I'm not a real big Yeezy person. I got one pair, the lime green ones, and I only bought them because they lime green. I'm a Jordan guy. I'm a Nike guy. I'm not really a big Adidas fan. So me personally, I'm not going to be buying any. But it ain't even because of that stuff. It's because I just don't really care for Yeezys that much.
Gotcha. So is there like wealth to be made, or is there some type of, I guess, financial gain with being a sneakerhead, like being a collector?
Yes, because the market for certain sneakers is ridiculous. I mean, you got certain shoes that you can resell for like $2-3 grand. You know what I'm saying? It's certain shoes that come out. They're like real exclusive shoes. And some of them get up into like 25, 30,000. Like there's a pair, the original Nike Yeezy, those shoes right now sell for like $30,000. So it's definitely money that can be made in the sneaker game. Now you can't wear the shoe, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna sell it for that much, you gotta buy it and hold it. But you got dunks that you can buy a pair of dunks for $100, and a couple months later they might be $600. So it's definitely money that can be made in the sneaker game.
Because I've noticed a lot of people within our age group, the millennials, like they are on tennis shoes. Like there's apps and they're using bots to secure their spots to get tennis shoes. And so when you're buying like that, is there some type of wealth creation that can be had if you're just buying tennis shoes? Because I guess in my mind, I'm thinking you're spending money. You're not really, gaining anything unless you sell them.
Yes, the market for shoes is so high, and it's partly the shoe company's fault because they don't mass produce them. They put a certain amount out, and they do that for the purpose to keep supply and demand. They only put a certain amount out to make sure you still, if everybody got them, then they're not going to be that big of a draw. But if only a certain few people have them, then that's going to keep the demand for them up. And so what you got what you call resellers. Those are the people who have the box, and they buy them in bulk at retail price, and then they sell them for a profit. That's a huge market. The resale market is a multi-billion-dollar market, and actually some of these companies are trying to crack down on it by not allowing people to buy multiple pairs of shoes, and but they'll never be able to crack down on that. It's too far gone now.
At this point, right. So let's talk about Top Tier Financial Group. Tell us about that a little bit.
That is literally my financial coaching company. Just started literally about 3 months ago. And I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I help people put together what I call a money plan, and that is literally where we sit down and we have a strategy session and we look at your finances. We look at everything. You want to. I want to see bank statements. We got to see everything because I need to know what your goals are. We got to look at what you're currently doing that's stopping you from hitting your goals. And then once we do that, now we put a plan together to help you reach your goals. And I firmly believe that people need to be coached because if you look at professional sports is a great way to. It's a great analogy to kind of judge life. You have athletes who are elite at what they do. They're very skilled, God-given talent, right? But for them to go to the next level, they got to have somebody coaching.
Right.
Coaches can show you what you're doing wrong. They can tell you what you need to do more of. They can push you. They can inspire you. They can motivate you. They can chastise you if need be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need a third eye view to help you get over the hump of what you're trying to get to. And so that's what I am really, really trying to specialize in with Top Tier Financial Group. I want to really be people's coach when it comes to their finances. And because I've had coaches to really help me get to where I am and where I'm continuing to go, whether it's business, whether it's with my spirituality, whether it's as a father, all of that. I got mentors. So people need coaches. And that's literally what Top Tier Financial Group is based in.
So why do you think in our community, the African American community, finances is such, I don't want to say it's a plague, but it's just such a hard topic, a topic that's not talked about enough, and the training and the knowledge is not really shared like it should be as far as managing your finances?
Yeah, I think that question has so many layers, man, because we can go back to you can go back to slavery and you can go back to the indoctrination of our people from centuries ago. And it's amazing how that has continued to follow us to this day. The average net worth of an African American family in America is $24,000. You know what the average net worth of a white family is? $178,000.
Yeah.
Now that's not by accident, if you ask me. If you think about our history, you think about our ancestors and what they went through, that's not by accident.
Right.
I think that's something that was strategically done years ago, and it has followed us all this time. So now, in our generation, grandmama and granddaddy didn't know nothing about money, so they couldn't teach our moms and dads about money. So because our moms and dads don't know about money, they can't teach us. And if we don't learn, it's just going to keep on going.
Right.
So at some point in time, somebody like myself has to step up and say, Black folk, we control, I think it's $1.6 billion in spending power every year in the United States. $1.6 billion.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. $1.6 billion that we spend every year in the United States as a community. You mean to tell me we can't take some of that money and begin to put it in the right places to create wealth for not only us, but for 1,000 generations after us? So somebody got to say it, somebody's got to get financially literate, and then somebody's got to teach it.
Absolutely. I brought up the conversation about tennis shoes because, like you said, we spend our money on things that we want. And so I've noticed a lot in our culture, it's tennis shoes, it's fashion, it's our hair, our makeup, grooming. And so it's not always a lot of assets that's wealth generating unless we're the owners, unless we are the entrepreneur behind that. And so why is entrepreneurship so important to you?
It's important to me for the reason why you just said. Ownership. We got to own something. Not only that, for me, it's my grandparents were business owners. My dad just passed away last year, and he left us a plethora of income. Of real estate that we inherited. Me and my siblings. So they set the stage for us. But even so, they still didn't teach us a lot about entrepreneurship. So for me, it's about fulfilling a call on my life. I feel like I'm purposed to be an entrepreneur. I feel like that I'm called to create wealth for my son and for my wife and for our grandkids and, for generations after that. I feel like I have a responsibility to walk in the wealth that God has for us. But to go back to what you said at first, I'm tired of spending all my money on stuff and having nothing to show for it.
Right.
In the Black community, we would rather look rich than be rich. And I'm not really sure where that mindset came from,
Right.
but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
And so we got to have a paradigm shift. There's nothing wrong with you buying Gucci and you know, driving in a Benz, but how about you build some wealth first that'll pay for that instead of going to work paying for it? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then you become a slave to your job, and you know you gotta work 40, 50 years before you can retire, and then you barely can live off the money you retire on, so you gotta go work at Walmart. I mean, it's an endless cycle that we just gotta put it into. And so that's why entrepreneurship is such a big deal for me.
You said in there, you said be rich, and I noticed a lot of your hashtags, you use hashtag be rich. What is that? What is the be rich?
Oh, you asking all the good questions tonight, man. Okay, so Be Rich is literally my brand, and what it literally encompasses is 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 9. 2 Corinthians 8 and 9 says, "For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that you through his poverty might be rich." Yeah. That's literally what he said. And I believe that we are already rich. I don't believe that we have to chase a bag. I don't believe that we have to go after anything. I believe that it's already in us. Wealth and riches is self-discovery. So instead of me telling people to get rich, I just tell them to be rich because they already are. So you already are rich, Rebecca. So I'm just going to tell you, be who you are. Be rich. That is.
Yes. Come on. Pull that down. So let's talk about Skyline Media. Now you're a content creator. You out there pushing major content every day. You're always on my timeline. Like, how did you just dive into that? Because now it's like, pass the mic.
Yeah. So that is something that God just continued to push me to do. One of the reasons why I was kind of skeptical about it is because I know so many people who do content creation, and I didn't want to step on any toes. You know what I'm saying? But God just kept pushing me, and He literally opened doors for me to do it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just about to dive in. So now you're probably gonna see a whole lot more content. Me posting clips, helping people, giving value where content is concerned. But I've been passionate about it for. Oh man, probably since 2014. Like I've always had a thing for helping people to develop their brand and making it look excellent. I've always had a thing for it. And I always done it for my stuff, but I was like, you know what? I need to start doing it for other folks too. I need to start doing that for other people too. And so here we are. That's what Skyline Media is. We focus on content creation for high-level entrepreneurs and business people, and we also specialize in videography.
Yes. Okay. Because I saw that over the last couple of weeks, you've been doing a lot more content. You've been doing videography. I think I kind of first noticed your shift into heavy content production. A friend of the show, Pastor Dunk, you did some content for him, and I was like, oh, that's dope.
When I tell you God flew, that's when. Let me tell you how that went. This is a testimony. This is why you got to obey God. I was invited to a luncheon at UCFM with Pastor Ellis. Shout out to Pastor Ellis. I went the first month, okay? First month, it was a little bit underwhelming. I said I wasn't going to go back. Well, I got invited again.
Okay.
And honestly, that they not invited me, I wasn't going back. But I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and go. So when I decided to go, God told me, every time we go there, let me backtrack and say this. Every time we go, they ask us to stand up and tell what our business is, okay? So the first time I went, I told them about my financial coaching. I didn't tell them about the content creation because I was still on the fence.
Right.
Well, the second time, as soon as I agreed to go, God said to me, I want you to make sure you mention that you're a content creator. Long story short, I get up, I go to the conference, I go to the luncheon. Don't walks in the luncheon. I had no idea he was going to be there. I stand up and I tell, I'm a financial coach. I'm also a social media content creator. He heard me say that. At the end of the luncheon, he walks up to me. He was like, man, I heard you're a content creator. Take my number down. I'm in Louisiana once a month. I want you to do my content every time I'm down here. That's how that happened. That's literally how it happened. I was doing his content the next week, literally the next week. I was at that event, filming that whole event, and it's been on ever since.
Pastor Donk is amazing. So shout out to Pastor Donk.
He
I
is.
love him. He's
He
he's,
is. Shout
he's
out
the
to my
truth.
man. Don't he's an awesome guy. He really is, man.
Yes. So let's talk about you and your I don't want to say alter ego, but maybe like your other side is like a Christian entertainer.
Yes, yes, yes. You can call Christian hip hop artists, holy hip hop artists. Man, I do
Okay.
some of everything. And I have a motto: die empty. That's literally my philosophy. Every gift that God has given me, I'm going to pour it out. I'm not going to leave this earth with nothing. You know, I'm not going to stand before God and say, okay, God, I didn't use what you gave me. I used it all. So I've been doing Christian hip hop since like 2010.
Okay.
And probably over the past maybe 4 to 5 years, I've really just gotten really serious about it. And that's another area where God is just opening doors. It's another stream of income.
Right.
Another area of impact. It's just, as a matter of fact, me and one of my homeboys are flying out to California next weekend. We got a show in Long Beach, California. We getting flued out. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, flued out. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we getting flued out, man. God is doing it big, and I'm excited about it. And we just getting started with the Christian hip hop. For a while, I thought I was too old because I'm 42 years old, and you see it all the time. People tell the old people they need to stop rapping, blah blah blah. And that just makes me nervous every time I hear it. But to me, it's no time better than now to do it. So.
Listen, if people are still selling out shows for Dougie Fresh,
Yes.
for Slick Rick,
Come on.
for Jay-Z, at 42, you can still get
Come on,
it.
somebody. Come on, somebody. You know what I'm saying? They still do it, and they still, the gift doesn't get old. The gift, I still can sit down and write songs in 20 minutes. You know, it's nothing. So the gift doesn't go away. So as long as I got breath in my body and I got good health, I'm going to continue to do it. And those of you who watching, you can go find all of my music. You just search Mike Carter on all streaming sites, and you will find all of my music. It's all there.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the music industry. How do you feel being a Christian and being an artist, being able to put the two together and it not compromise who you are as a pastor, as a man of God, just as I guess a good responsible human? Because like with so much that's going on, you have gangster rap, and then you have unfortunately the young man that was taken a couple of days ago. It's like hip hop, rap, like it's a lot going on. So how do you keep it from taking you too far out of being a man of God?
I got you. Actually, it's actually a way to maintain your faith through artistry. Because I literally see Christian hip hop as it's an art form. To me, it's a way that I express who I am to God and to God's people. It's a way that I give God back to Him when He's given to me. It's a way that I worship God. It's a way that I praise God through my music. So that keeps me centered on doing it for Him, because I can't sing. If I could sing, I would worship. I would be the worship leader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But God didn't give me that gift, but He did give me the gift of rap. And so for me, it's not even a question of am I going to deviate away from it, because it's literally what I use to glorify God. So it makes it easy for me to stay in my walk, to stay focused on the Word of God, to stay focused on the message, which is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And also, with the situation with Takeoff, we feel a responsibility, man, to provide an alternative, because death and life is in the power of the tongue. And if you're consistently speaking death, what do you think is going to happen? So we have to consistently speak life, and then give these young kids who are in the kingdom some life that they can consistently put in their ears as well. Because rap music is going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. So either they're going to listen to Young Boy or they're going to listen to Old Mike. One of the two. So, you know what I'm saying? They either going to listen to Young Boy or Old Mike, and I'd rather give them Old Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What do you say to those that feel that rap is not for Christians, not for the church world? It's just for the outside secular world.
Yeah, we have this conversation all the time. And I really think it boils down to one thing. Church people don't know how to separate the art form from the expression.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, rap is an art form, but they think rap is gangster.
Yes.
Gangster rap is an expression. Rap, though, is an art form. It's a genre. When rap first started, it wasn't gangster rap.
Correct.
It was the hip gang. It was the hip hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip hip. So it was, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't any. It wasn't. But church people, when they think about rap, all they think about is gangster rap, and they don't know how to separate the two. So that's what makes it hard to embrace. And even now, we are still fighting fights, particularly in the black community. Because let me tell you something about the white folks. They have no problem with Christian hip hop.
Right.
No whatsoever. They love our culture. They love Christian hip hop. They cut checks the fastest. They have no issue with Christian hip hop. They will bring a Christian rapper to their events so fast, and all of them be at the stage jumping up and down. You feel me?
Right.
It's mainly in the black community because we listen to so much gangster rap that we think that that's what rap is. And when the church begins to separate the two, which is getting better, but we still got a road to go. But
in that same, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. So I was gonna say, in that same token, the viral video from Deion Sanders when he was speaking to the Jackson State football team, he was just saying that, you're different now. You have to change your environment. You have to change people you hang around. You have to cut some people. And so in a situation where the gentleman his life was taken from him, is it an environmental thing? Do you think us as a culture, we like to keep it real? We like to hang on to, the things that we're familiar with instead of just realizing that we are above now?
Yeah, absolutely. There comes a point in time where you just got to distance yourself. I mean, it just is what it is. I remember when I first got saved. None of my friends were saved. And the Bible tells us that corrupt communication, evil company corrupts good manners. The Bible tells us that. So if you continue to hang around people who are walking a different path than you, then 9 times out of 10, what they're doing is going to affect you in some way.
Yes.
And so I had to make a decision to separate if I was going to continue to grow. And you can't just separate from the old folk, but you got to gravitate to some new people too.
Yeah.
So absolutely, man. If I'm a multi-millionaire, you know what I'm saying, and God, I've been blessed to come out of an environment like that and live a life that most people don't live. I'm not gonna go back to shooting dice. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna do that. That is just. And they say it's the old saying: you can take the dude out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the dude.
Right.
We need to do it. We need to take the hood out the dude. And there comes a point in time where you have to change your surroundings. I was watching the Louisiana Fest the other night.
Okay.
And Lil Wayne was talking about how he lives in Miami now. He's been living in Miami for a long time.
Yes.
Lil Wayne's a smart guy. Because if he's in New Orleans, it would probably be a whole bunch of foolishness that he knows he doesn't need to be a part of. So it makes sense.
How do you, I guess, you have a lot of these big names, like you said, Lil Wayne, and then you also have, Master P, and you have, a lot of the old school, big-time entertainers. They move away, but they're also, constantly giving back to their communities. What do you think for Baton Rouge, what would be helpful for some of the entertainers that are really big names, popular names, here to help us in the Baton Rouge community with?
Oh man, Baton Rouge is such a violent city when it comes to, in particular, in black communities. There's so much violence that still goes on. I think something would have to be done along those lines, and it's kind of hard. I think one of the reasons why those guys don't come back and do that type of stuff is because they continue to glorify that lifestyle, and so it makes them look hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I admire about Master P is, even though he used to do that type of music, he's far removed from it now. And so now he comes back and he talks about it and he speaks about it as though that's not the way to go.
Right.
I think that's something that these rap artists or anybody who's of influence and of any kind of means, that's something they can do. Now, if you can't necessarily lend your celebrity, well, you can lend your pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? You can give to some foundations that is doing work in the community to stop crime and mentor young men. And you know what I'm saying? You can donate to those causes if you don't feel comfortable yourself coming back and doing it without looking like a hypocrite, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's definitely one way they can handle it.
Do you think our churches are doing enough to get back out there in the community, kind of walk the community, talk with people of the neighborhood, and just kind of, be like, put your guns down? Like, are we doing that, or should we go back to that 90s era of where on Saturdays that you were out there pounding the pavement, like all that old school draw you into church type thing? Should we go back to that?
Yeah, I first of all, to answer your first question, I don't think there's enough of that going on. I don't think churches are doing enough, and that's not to. I'm a staunch defender of the church, so that's not to cast any aspersions on the church or to make the church look bad. Right. I just don't think there's enough being done because honestly, I don't think the church knows what to do. We're in a society where we know the answer is Jesus, but people don't want to hear that that's the answer. Right. So, okay, well, where do we go from there? And the church, what we haven't done a good job of doing is figuring out that part. If we can't give them Jesus, what can we give them to possibly get them to where we then can give them Jesus? And so I think that's a part of it. I also think, man, that the streets are so wild that some people are literally scared to get out there.
Right.
Like I really believe that plays a huge role because some of these youngsters, man, you come tell them about doing better, and they don't want to hear that. They might pull their shirt up with a computer under their shirt and be like, "Get off my block! I don't want to do better."
Yes.
So it's going to take a lot of courage. It's going to take a lot of love, a lot of prayer, and a lot of just really strategy and planning to really make a dent in our communities and see some change.
Awesome. Before we close out, with a little bit over a month and a half left of 2022, what is your hope for 2023?
My personal hope is that I just keep going hard. One of the things that I said at the beginning of 2022 is that I did not want to go into 2023 being the same that I was coming into 2022. Right. And I feel like I've accomplished that. So I want to keep the momentum. I want to keep building momentum. So if I can leave anything for anybody watching this, if you haven't started already, start now on those things that you said you want to accomplish before 2022 ends. You came into the new year with all kind of resolutions.
Right.
You may not have done them, right? Well, get started. Just get started. At least get started. I'm coming. At least get started. And then you'll be able to at least build some momentum going into 2023. Don't go out into 2023 the same way you were coming into 2022.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor Mike, for being a part of the Gene Ellen experience. This has been great.
Yes.
You are definitely a friend to the show now.
Yes. And if you have me back, I'm more than willing to come back. And I'm going to have to get you on my live because I go live pretty frequently myself.
Yes. I love going live. Just let me know when and where, and I'm there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. That has been our Touch Case Thursday for this Thursday. This is season 4, episode number 9. Make sure you are following Pastor Mike. His Instagram handle is Mike the Money Coach. You can follow him on Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Mike Carter, Baton Rouge, and you will be able to pull up all of his social medias. That's it. That is all we have for tonight. So again, make sure you go out next Tuesday to vote. Make sure you go out next Tuesday to vote. Oh my gosh, this is super important that we get out there and we exercise our right to vote. Also, ladies and some gentlemen, if you have a lady in your life, you can purchase your very own signature Gene Ellen red. Hey! Yes, I have all of the colors here. This is Miss Lucille, which is a bit of a gold. I don't know if you guys can see that part, but you guys know this red lip anywhere. So if you are looking to have your holiday selection for your maybe white elephant at the office, you need something for the ladies in your life or the lady in your life, make sure you go to shop jeanellencollection.com, or you can go to www.jeanellencollection.com, click the shop tab, and you can get your own lip colors. Boom. Just like that. All right. So that is it for tonight. You guys have a great weekend. Oh my gosh. I am so looking forward to the weekend because I just need to take a nap. But in the meantime, make sure you're also following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm just about everywhere. And Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, that you're listening to me, Rebecca with a K, on the Jamal Bates Morning Show. Whew, I think that's it for tonight. So, all right. You guys have a great evening. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to go vote. And that's it. Have a good night. Bye.